can't see me, you Stevie. Wondering how I reach more evolutions than Eevee and make it look easy.
What is up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It's Ernie the Blerd without fear. Welcome back to the channel. All right, so today's video, I'm going to be talking about Absolute Batman number 3, and this issue is going to be the one that's going to prove that the Absolute Batman, this Absolute Universe version of one of the most iconic DC Comics characters ever in the history of ever, there's a reason why this version of Batman is so much different. It's not just the fact that he is, for all intents and purposes, swole Batman. He's basically the Brock Lesnar of Batman. No, it's not just that. It's not just the fact that he's a bit more brutal of a Batman character, but also still maintaining that no-kill policy. We don't really know so much if he has the same territorialness that Batman tends to have when it comes to vigilantes operating in Gotham City without his clearance. And I would even go as far as to say that Batman has probably the most hard lines when it comes to superheroing in any comic book imprint. But that said, this version of Batman, the Absolute Batman, has done something that I don't think we ever really see Earth Prime Batman do, and I'm very curious to see how the Absolute Universe is going to handle this type of a Batman going forward. Under normal circumstances, Earth Prime Batman does not really negotiate with his villains. I mean, yeah, sure, sometimes he'll hear out what they have to say. Yeah, sure, sometimes if there is a more peaceful solution to end a problem, every once in a blue moon, Batman might hear it out, but it really is on a case-by-case basis. It really depends on the villain at the time and largely whether or not it's Catwoman. Or Talia al Ghul. Batman's not picky. But when it comes to the Absolute Universe Batman, he actually pulls a move that I did not see coming. And it's the fact that over the course of these previous 2 issues, we've seen Batman contend with Roman Sionis, aka the Black Mask, and his party animals. Black Mask has been cutting a swath across Gotham City. He's been attacking police and politicians and rival gangsters all across the city. He has even gone after Mayor Jim Gordon, and not necessarily taken him completely out of the game, but has put him in the hospital to the point where now the city is lacking in mayoral leadership at a time when Jim was already contending with a mayoral hopeful in would-be Mayor Hill. Now, when we take a peek at that and see how Black Mask, not only does he have his thumb down on top of the criminal underworld of Gotham, he has his thumb down on the political side too, because you best believe Hill is in Black Mask's back pocket. And he also now has the police culpable in his shenanigans just based on the fact that Commissioner Harvey Bullock was literally party to murder in this issue. So he's kind of, I won't say blackmailed, but I mean, yeah, Bullock is not going to be too quick to say anything now because he literally just watched Black Mask kill someone in cold blood. And as a police commissioner, he did nothing to stop it. He just sat there and stared in disbelief, largely. But the point here is that all of this has happened, and even Alfred Pennyworth of this universe was less of a butler and more of like a government black ops, man of mystery, a spy and an assassin and all that sort of thing. Even Alfred recognizes Black Mask is too connected. He's too big. And it's kind of funny how all this plays out because Batman doesn't recognize that. He sees a threat. He sees a problem. He doesn't see Black Mask as something that's insurmountable, whereas people like Alfred and maybe anyone else in Gotham City might just. Black Mask has all the money, all the influence, all the muscle, and yet Batman doesn't see him as anything that cannot be defeated. He believes he can take this guy down if he applies himself the right way. However, what Alfred suggests, and this is largely based on things that took place in the previous issue, was that Black Mask offered Batman an opportunity to break bread with each other, that Batman stand down and just let Black Mask do his thing. And it's brought back up again even now, that even after Bruce has looked into the mask that he took off one of the bad guys from the previous issue, even after he's done his investigating, looked into Black Mask, found out how connected he was, it's none of that that actually makes Batman relent or back down. It's actually something that has more to do with Batman's mother. I just wanted to jump in real quick and give a shout out to today's sponsor, Global Comics. Global Comics is a digital comics platform that you've probably heard me talk a good deal about over the last few months, but for those not in the know, Global Comics is the #1 digital comics platform, period, hands down, end of story. You can read everything from Image Comics, Dark Horse, Boom Studios, Dynamite Comics, Oni Press, Top Cow, Vault Comics, Stranger Comics, and last but most certainly not least, DC Comics. One of the things I love about the platform personally is that you can purchase comics a la carte. You can pick up whatever trades or single issues that you want to check out, and you can also preview those very same trades and single issues before you decide to make a purchase. Not only that, if you really want to go all in just like I did, you can get a 1-year unlimited subscription. This gives you access to everything on the Global Comics platform from every publisher and in every style, whether it's standard or in vertical format. And because Global Comics loves Earth's Mightiest subscribers so much, they are giving me a special link that you can find in the description or pinned comment below. You click that link and it will take you straight to the Global Comics website and give you 33% off your first 1-year subscription. You can also scan the QR code over here. It'll take you to your app store of choice. And then all you got to do after that is install the app and use my promo code GCX Blerd without fear to get the same deal. So don't walk, run to Global Comics and treat yourself. You see, we're in a universe where, once again, for those who, if this is your first video checking in on Absolute Batman, this is a Batman who did not lose both his parents. He only lost one of them. He lost Thomas Wayne. Martha Wayne is still very much alive. And another thing that's changed in this universe, and it's largely because of the fact that Martha is alive here, is the fact that she's friends with Mayor Gordon. And because of that, now that Gordon is laid up after the attack from Black Mask and his party animals, it's now Martha Wayne who is stepping in and acting as deputy mayor. And this is bad news for Bruce, because he already knows that Black Mask is attacking politicians left and right. And it doesn't matter that Martha is just a stand-in for Mayor Gordon. Black Mask is gonna attack her just the same. This is largely why Batman is taking the stance that he is here and actually considering what Black Mask is offering. Now, another reason this is important is gonna be because the money that Black Mask is offering him, it's crazy money for a guy like this absolute Batman in this universe, because he's not wealthy. I mean, at best, he's probably either at the upper echelon of working class or, you know, maybe on the lower end of middle class. He's not rich. He's not balling outrageous. I mean, yeah, his family, look, I'll just put it like this. They got a brownstone in Gotham. They're doing okay. They're doing okay. But the thing is, yeah, he's not used to seeing, you know, that many zeros. The amount of zeros Black Mask is offering, he's offering him $200 million. Now, under normal circumstances in the Earth Prime universe, Batman wouldn't give a squirrel fart about $200 million. He's rich. Even at his lowest recently, where he was busted down from no longer being a playboy billionaire philanthropist, he was busted down to being a just playboy millionaire philanthropist, and even to a lesser extent, I think he came really close to becoming a thousandaire. But that's all been undone, and even I think then that Batman would have turned it down because he grew up with wealth and power. He'd wipe his ass with $200 million. But this is a Batman who recognizes he doesn't have that kind of money, and he's gonna listen. But it's not really for the money. He's doing it for his mom. He's trying to protect his mother. But there's one thing I think a lot of people aren't going to be thinking about in regards to what Batman is also thinking about long term. You see, he's a low-tech Batman. Yeah, sure, a lot of the stuff he's using seems like it's way more, technologically savvy than the things that Earth Prime Batman had early in his career. But the big difference here is that with that $200 million, that can buy a lot of extra equipment. It could actually elevate him to becoming a much more robust Batman than he already is. And I'm not just talking about his muscles. It's a situation where it might seem like a losing scenario, but it's also a win. Because, for one, Black Mask doesn't really truly know or understand this version of Batman yet. This version of Batman could do a lot with that extra money, and we've already kind of seen some hints that if he's already coming up with all kind of crazy gadgets and ideas just with a no budget situation, imagine what he can do with a lot more zeros in his bank account. I also don't think that Batman is even going to honor his word here. I mean, he might, but I just don't see any reason for him to do it. I mean, I'm pretty sure what will likely end up happening is he just goes at him in a much different way. Maybe not directly attacking him, but finding ways to still put the screws to him just the same. Regardless of what's going on, we do know that Black Mask has big plans. He's tied to a project that's running around that's basically a nod to, more of a wink and a nod to the Arkham Asylum, but it's referred to as Ark-M, as in the letter M. And it's revealed that these arcs exist all across the entire globe. They're basically black site prisons and effectively Arkham asylums, but all across the world, housing probably some of the nastiest, most depraved, most psychotic criminals across the entire planet. Or it could be used for something that is probably even more terrifyingly scary, and that's keeping people who probably aren't the real problem. Yeah, which is often a problem with Arkham Asylum in and of itself. But I do find it very telling that we get a taste of some of the other prisons. We see prisons that are located in Santa Prisca, which, for all my Bane fans out there, you know who I'm talking to. That's very likely where Bane is hanging out. We know that there's a prison in Russia. Then that one very likely houses people like KG Beast. And there's one in China where it would not be out of the spectrum of possibility for someone like Lady Shiva to show up. So it could be anything by that regard. But I do find all of this stuff, pretty funny, just, how Scott Snyder is incorporating a lot of these things from, Earth Prime Batman lore, but putting his own twist and spin on it. I also really like what they do with Catwoman in this. We get to see Catwoman as a child, in Bruce's youth, and her story is kind of out there. It's something that it was a little bit heartbreaking because you can tell that it's one of those types of tales where she comes from a broken home. She's a kid that's in the system, she's an orphan and just is bouncing from foster home to foster home. But you can already see the Catwomanisms of her like early in. She's fearless, and she also just has a very different way of looking at things than Bruce does. And even in this particular time frame, Bruce as a child is not really wanting any help from his friends, but we get to see him have that here. And we also get to see that relationship, that more of a friendship than it is anything else. We get to see how there's probably a good reason to believe that Selina in this universe is already out doing the things that we would probably expect her to be doing. I don't know if she's quite risen to crime boss status yet, as Selina has in the Earth Prime continuity a time or two. But yeah, I think it's safe to say we'll probably see the absolute Catwoman, in adult form, probably before long. I think the real question is going to be, though, what is to come of Batman's closest friends? I don't think they're going to become villains, mind you, but I wonder if they're ever going to get involved on the proceedings, or like instead of having the Bat family as we know, where Batman always has like a Robin, a Spoiler, a Huntress, a Nightwing, the Red Hood, whatever. I wonder if in this universe the Bat family is going to be something just a little more closer to home, if it would not wind up being the friends that he had, when he was a child, that he's still friends with his childhood homies, the Riddler, Two-Face, Killer Croc, the Penguin, Catwoman. Would that be his new Bat family? That would be, I think it'd be a sight to behold.